All right, today we are talking about Resolve AI, ticker symbol RZLV. This is a stock that has popped up quite a few times on my watch list. I do not have a position in it, and I am looking to get into the stock, but I want to find a nice entry point. So that's what I'm going to show you here today, how I come up with my entry points on these small cap stocks. Because you could see as it broke out, it had this huge run up and a lot of people chasing it. And what you end up doing is you end up getting in here somewhere if you're late to the party. And then when it drops, you're stuck underwater. So with these little caps, I do not like to chase them up. I like to either ideally get in down here when it's really consolidating or on a pullback like it's doing now. So what we have here is the initial uptrend that started. And I'm going to put that right here on this yellow line. And now, depending how exactly I touch it to the bottom of the trend, moves it a little bit. You can see it's close to a bounce. If you look at the last couple trading days, if depending how I draw it, it actually looks like it's touching. Um, so there is a little variation in the process there. So that was the trend that started here, and we could see it was sort of following this up along, bouncing off that line. And it kept bouncing off these tops, which are the original resistance point right here, which should now act as a support level. Then it shot up here, and the problem is once it's shot up here, there's no real strong supports. Even historically, if we go back, we can look, there's not much. It basically came down here without forming much of a base from this $15 area. So for all intents and purposes, part of the problem is when they shoot up really fast like this, they often come right back down because there has been no support established. And we can see that's what's happening here on this pullback. It doesn't mean it's a bad stock. It's just how it works. So let's see if I can draw the channel here of where it's trading now. So we see this is the channel that we're in right now. So as the stock had its second bounce, so it went really high, pulled back, bounced off the 50. That's really nice. But what happened is the breakout failed, right? So it in order for the breakout to succeed, it has to take out this high. It didn't do that. It got halfway and it came back down again. And now it's following this little channel here, bouncing along. You can see it hits the top here and comes down. So there's a couple things going on. Is that we likely have um, a little bit of a convergence coming on here. So you have the support down here. That would be the second place it's going to bounce. In the first place would be this original uptrend from way back here when it was going up nice and smoothly. And right before it got crazy, it was following this trend and it looks like it's coming back to this trend. So the channel's bringing it down here. It's going to hit here. It's likely, in my opinion, to get in here somewhere, right? So when it gets here, it may go down and bounce right back up. Or the other thing that it could do, it could come down here and it maybe starts bouncing along this and we start moving into a slower uptrend before eventually taking off again. Now, if this line, if this support level here, the yellow one fails, you may be looking at the next stop would be down here at this breakout level where it would be retesting the breakout. Neither of these are bad scenarios. The bad scenario would be if this second line doesn't hold and it goes down here, which I don't see happening because it didn't happen over here and there was no news, there was nothing keeping it up here, and there should be nothing pushing it down below that point. That's sort of seems where the stock settled in to be where people thought it was a fair value, and kind of we're ignoring it. So there's no overriding reason short of news that would seem to want to push it down further. But crazy things happen. So if I'm buying this, I'm looking at making my buy, taking whatever I want to buy and maybe breaking it into two portions. And my first buy would be on a test of this yellow uptrend line. Um, so if it hits here and it bounces up a little bit and maybe breaks the top of this channel, that would be my first buy. Now, if that ultimately fails and it comes down here, I'd buy my second um, portion of what I'm hoping to accumulate. If it does the first scenario and it bounces here and then skyrockets back up, then I'm stuck with my half position. But that's the cost, basically, for me of playing it safe. So that's that whole risk reward thing. If you wanna play it safe and not get caught somewhere where you don't have any support below you and the stock's going to drop and you're going to sit on 20, 30, 40% loss, then you have to be cautious. And that's what I intend to do here is wait for this stock to get down here, maybe Monday or Tuesday. We should know if it's going to hold this yellow line and bounce a little bit, or if it's going to go down to the next level of support. Now, that said, these small cap stocks, and right now being in an AI bubble, and this stock being AI related, it's a news driven stock. It's not driven by fundamentals and it's not wholly driven by technicals. Any news comes out Monday, Tuesday, all bets are off. This thing could do whatever it wants. The way it's been acting, the most likely scenario for me is this first scenario that I'm talking about, bounce, come down here, briefly touch this yellow line and bounce back up. Now, the other thing that could throw a wrench into that is if we look right here, we see that this is the blue line is the 50-day moving average that's turned down. And then this other line is the 20-day moving average. So we're about to get a little short-term death cross there. So if it doesn't bounce soon and this 20 does in fact go below the 50-day moving average, that may create some more downward pressure on the stock, which would seem to want to push it down here more. So I guess we'll find out on Monday um, what this stock is going to do, and hopefully the scenario plays out, and I can get my position down here around 410 maybe would be a great number to get on this stock. I think long term it has much more upside. At least getting back to this 810 level very shortly. Um, but for right now, it's just drifting aimlessly. So good luck and let me know in the comments if you have a position and what your thoughts are on Rezolve AI.